Hi, my name is Jacqueline Just. This is my English 250 portfolio project reflection with instructor Sloan. So, through completing this project, I definitely learned the importance of using current and credible sources. I had to do a lot of research for this project, and unfortunately, I found that after I had completed my research, I had to go back and research again. The articles that I had chosen, unfortunately, were 3 to 4 years old. Problem being with that is I chose to write my memo on increasing efficiency and effectiveness within the workplace. My memo was basically all about implementing a biometric time clock and implementing HRIS software within the HR department to streamline productivity and the time clock to be able to save the company money that's being wasted on hours that are not worked. Because technology is ever changing, sources that may have been credible 2 years ago are not credible now. I was finding a lot of differences with the actual technology itself. So definitely it was important to make sure that I had credible sources. Also, it was definitely important to make sure that I maintained a respectful tone in making the proposal, considering the audience, definitely a big deal. So course outcomes were met by having to research and analyze the data that I came up with, having to put together the oral video reflection, met the oral component, the video component of that. I believe that what I learned as far as creating the professional workplace documents aligns with the capability of dependability. When you're given the task to send a memo out to the entire company, your boss is going to basically want to know that they can depend on you to do this, to get the memo done, to make sure you're not offending anybody, make sure that you're using clear and concise language, you're getting the point across, but you're still being respectful. So the whole process of just having to put the memo together in its own, I believe, is definitely relating to dependability. Institutional outcomes, information literacy and communication. Again, met through having to go through the virtual library, go through the internet, trying to come up with reliable, credible sources. Something I struggled with in the beginning, realized that I needed for my project sources that were only a couple years old. Otherwise, I was going to be giving out incorrect information as far as cost, as far as what the technology itself is actually capable of. So thinking abilities was met with having to come up with the idea of how to change and fix the problem that I'm currently seeing. Beginning of my memo, I discussed what the problem was. Then I had to think my way through, okay, so here is the problem, how do we fix it? I believe that's how we met the thinking abilities. Quantitative and scientific reasoning was met through researching the different time clocks, researching the software. There was many different choices that could have been made, but it basically came down to what's going to be the most cost effective for the company, what's going to provide the largest return on investment, things of that nature. So definitely you had to consider the reasoning behind why you were doing what you were doing. As far as the community and career, I was able to directly relate this project to my career. The suggestions that I made were issues that I will encounter at some point in time within my career. Being in human resources, I will be in charge of managing employees' times, implementing HRIS software, trying to figure out ways to streamline productivity within the human resources department. So I definitely enjoyed the fact that I was able to directly relate what I was doing with this project to what I'm going to be doing in my career. Definitely having to find issues within the company and come up with a solution to fix the problem. It was definitely nice to be able to do something that I can use in my future. Project helped me gain knowledge of many issues, behind the scenes issues that companies encounter, on a daily, weekly, yearly scale. I mean, it's big, the amount of money that's actually wasted. So it was nice to be able to say, hey, look, this is a way that you can fix this problem. So going into the project, I was definitely a little bit nervous, thinking, wow, this is a lot. I don't know how I'm ever going to get this done. But it was an enjoyable project. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed being able to complete a portfolio project on something that's going to help me in my future career. There's not really anything that I would do differently aside from maybe starting the project a little bit earlier. And also I would probably select an extra 3 to 4 sources just in case. I know it was an issue with trying to meet the requirements for how many pages were actually needed. I didn't personally encounter that problem because I had so much information I actually had to trim mine down. But I would suggest having extra sources, extra places to go in case you do need to expand on the project. And also make sure that you get clarity on any questions early on because it goes so fast and there's definitely a lot that goes into completing the project. So knowing exactly what's expected in the beginning is definitely a huge help. So all in all, great project. I enjoyed doing it. I think we met all of the institutional outcomes as well as the course outcomes, and it was a fun project.